All right, welcome back. This is episode 4 of Hitting Hard. I am your host, Christian. You can find me on Twitter at Christian underscore NYYST. As we open the show, I want to wish everybody a very happy new year. We are now 3 days into 2019, if you can actually believe it. This past year has just flown by. It's hard to believe that now we're in January. We're trying to get towards February 13th, which is when the Yankees open up camp. So we still got about 6 weeks to go. So what the hell is going to happen in those 6 weeks? There's still a lot of things that can happen for the Yankees before we get to pitchers and catchers reporting. Who exactly will be reporting? Well, we know it won't be David Robertson. David Robertson earlier today signed a deal with the Philadelphia Phillies. He got 2 years and I believe it was $23 million. Some people say $21 million, but that it might include the $2 million buyout that he'll get if if the Phillies don't pick up that 30-year option. So there is a 30-year option. What up, Don Sicadio? There is a 30-year option on the contract for David Robertson. Now, you look at it on the surface, and you're like, wow, 2 for 23, and the Yanks didn't go after David Robertson. You got to take this, maybe there's a little mitigating circumstances there, like what the hell is going on? Why wouldn't they bring him back for that? I mean, his ERA was a little inflated last year. I think he finished over 3, right? Somebody can look that up for me. This is when we need Stat Guy Rye here, right? But he had a couple rough outings. When you're a reliever, if you have a couple rough outings, your ERA gets inflated because you don't have the innings pitched to kind of lower it. He was still pretty much David Robertson last year. Maybe he didn't, have that strikeout pitch as much as maybe you would have liked. He did pitch. It seemed like he did pitch to a little bit more hard contact last year. But still, at that price, I mean, I would have probably brought him back. Why didn't the Yankees bring him back? Yeah, discount. He might be. I don't know who the Phillies closer is down there. Somebody will have to tell me. I got to be honest. I didn't follow much Phillies baseball last year, except for when the Yankees played him, and the Yankees beat him 2 out of 3 times. They didn't use their closer in the game that they won because that was a Luis Cessa start. What the Yankees probably know that we don't is that something went wrong in that playoff shares meeting. He was the leader. He's the one that was the Yankees player representative and held the meeting. So, it was ultimately he was the scapegoat for that. But I can't still, if that's really what it is, like there's still, it's not like you're the judge and you make the ruling, right? It's voted upon. So the other Yankees could have outvoted, voted to give these guys playoff shares, and they didn't. But, being the leader of the meeting, David Robertson was, made the scapegoat. So I can't honestly see that as the reason why he's not back. I got to think that they probably want to go a little bit younger and bring in Adam Ottavino to sub JP. To be in that role there, to be like you would say, if they bring back Britton, Betances, Chapman, so you got your 7, 8, 9 pretty much locked down, right? So to be that swing guy, that 6th inning guy, I would say maybe they want Ottavino in that role. I don't know. Honestly, like Don Sicario just brought this up, Britton should be a lock, and I tweeted this out earlier today. I have to think that it's as much of a certainty as anything else that's going to happen the rest of this postseason that the Yankees are bringing back Zach Britton. They have to. They passed on Andrew Miller, who got another favorable contract. He got what? He got about 2 for 23 with St. Louis with the 3rd-year option. Same thing with D.Rob. So those are 2 guys you could have brought back. And they didn't. Britton is said to want closer money. So how about this? Yeah, apparently right now, from what I'm understanding, is that the hang-up is 3 versus 4 years for Zach Britton now. So, do what you did with J. Happ. You give him an easily obtainable, if he's good enough, option to trigger for the 4th year, just like they did with Hap. If Hap hits those numbers in the 2nd year, the 3rd year triggers, which is great because that means he pitched really well in the 2nd year of his contract. So you wouldn't mind having him back for the 3rd year. So that's what the Yankees have to do with Britton. You say, listen, Zach, we'll give you 3 for 45. We'll even, maybe we'll go 3 for 48. $15-16 million a year. That's closer level money because, Chapman's getting, 17 and change. So you say, we'll give you this. And if your ERA is this, or you have this many appearances, blah, 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 in the 3rd year, we'll pay you another $16 million for a 4th year. And I think he would be agreeable to that because he might want to go close somewhere, but at the risk of not being a Yankee. I mean, and not saying that everybody's got to be a Yankee, but, you want to close on a team that, you might have 50 saves, but the team's only going to win 53 games. Or you can set up Betances and set up Chapman and, be a key piece of that bullpen of a team that's trying to go to the World Series this year. I mean, that's the way I would look at it. And then, the Yankees, as I said this many, many times, the Yankees should go and sign Britton to protect themselves because they lost it. Now David Robertson's gone, so, that's one big piece of the... you're right. Britton would close in Boston, but, I was hearing a lot today that the Red Sox are playing a game of chicken with Craig Kimbrell, kind of like they did with J.D. Martinez last year. So at the end of the day, I still expect Kimbrell to go back to the Red Sox because, to be honest with you, if it comes down to having to sign Craig Kimbrell or not improving the bullpen, you know what? Let's see what Stephen Tarpley can do in the 7th inning. To be honest with you, I'm not touching Craig Kimbrell. Absolutely not. So as I was saying, Dave Robertson's gone, so you already lost one big piece of your bullpen. Then you got next year, Dellin Betances is hitting free agency, right? Are you going to bring him back? Is he going to want closer money? Does he think he can close somewhere? So these are all things you got to think about. Because if you lose Betances, you lost Robertson, you didn't sign Britton, and then Aroldis Chapman knows he's got the Yankees by the balls and opts out. I mean, come on. We're trying to have a sustained run of success of being a World Series level team, and you can't do that without a strong bullpen. That's why Britton makes so much sense. It's almost impossible for me to wake up on February 13th and not see Zach Britton carrying a Yankee gym bag into Steinbrenner Field. I can't imagine it. Somebody asked me what's going to happen with Miguel. I'm assuming you mean Andujar? I mean, I'm assuming he's going to be the opening day third baseman right now. I can't imagine a scenario where he's not. The Yankees aren't. I mean, we're far enough along. I can't see the Yankees are going to magically just pull up this. What's the word I'm looking for? This blockbuster trade out of nowhere right now where they get Corey Kluber or somebody like that. Because, I mean, Kluber's really the guy that you would trade Miguel Andujar for. Look, nobody wants Sonny Gray. Because I know what you're trying to get at, Joey. You're trying to say trade Sonny Gray to get Corey Kluber. They don't want Sonny Gray. You're not gonna do that. Like, they're gonna want, if they're gonna trade Kluber and they're gonna expect pitching back, they're gonna want somebody to control. I know Miguel and I didn't catch whose name that was. Yeah, Miguel Andujar is controllable. I get that, but if you have Machado, look, this is all predicated on the Yankees getting Manny Machado. If you have Manny Machado and Didi Gregorius comes back, he's Didi Gregorius, you can trade Miguel Andujar to get Corey Kluber. Like that. This is how I'm thinking at a level where the Yankees can be their best self, and that's their best self. I understand how much it's worth, but he's your biggest trade chip right now. And unless you're telling me that you're getting Madison Bumgarner to put you over the top at the trade deadline, and you can get like mid-level prospects and not have to give up the farm to get them, then you keep Miguel. I'm not advocating. This is what people don't understand, right? This is what frustrates me when you talk about trading Miguel Andujar. I'm not saying the Yankees need to go out there and trade Miguel Andujar. But I'm saying I want the Yankees to win the World Series in 2019, okay? So in order to do that, they might need to trade Miguel Andujar. If the Cleveland Indians called Brian Cashman right now and said, "Listen, you give us Miguel Andujar and some of your low-level pitching prospects, and we'll send over Corey Kluber," and he doesn't do it, I will find where he lives and burn his house down. Like, come on. You have to understand that if you're getting Don Sicario, thank you. This is what I always say to people. If Miggy means you're getting Kluber and then you sign Machado and Corey Kluber makes the Yankees better than just Miguel Andujar. And I know the Yankees have 5 starters right now, and I love CC to death, and I'm actually very, very happy. No, I'm not. Look, we'll get to that in a second. Thank you, Yankees Cave. I like this hoodie too. What was I going to say? I'm very, very happy that CC is back, right? But, I mean, what are you expecting out of the big guy? I'm trying to get to July with him. That's it. And then maybe go make a trade at the trade deadline. So that's all I'm really trying to do. And if I can get Corey Kluber right now for Miguel Andujar, which then would maybe make the Yankees more desperate to sign Manny Machado and guarantee themselves landing Manny Machado by going above and beyond because they need him now, you got to do it. We got to win the World Series, okay? That's all there is to it. I try to be level-headed and rational, but I want to win the World Series in 2019. And the only acceptable level for the Yankees in 2019 is American League champions. That's it. They cannot finish below that. So if they get to the World Series and lose, I'll be disappointed, but I'll be okay with it. Because you know what? This was supposed to be year 1, and in year 1, we're in the World Series. Okay? That's where I'm at. So that's what I'm thinking of how to do things like that. And Corey Kluber is not a short-term scenario. He's got 2 or 3 years left on his contract. So you bring him in here, you got Kluber, Paxton, Sevy, Tanaka for another 3 years. And then you see, your 5th starter, Hap, or, then you see what Montgomery is. Maybe you can move Montgomery for something that you need. This is the way, this is what you got to think about right here. So, I don't know, I don't even know how we got over here, but we were somewhere. So let's go to, we're speaking of Manny Machado here, right? So, yeah, I completely agree that the Yankees, will, irregardless of what's happening, they're going to pick up a starter at the trade deadline. Even if it's not a sexy name like Mad Bum, they'll get somebody. Because I honestly, and like I said, I love CC to death, but he's the guy that I'm worried about giving me, a full season here. So if I can get through July or get through June with CC, that's where I'm going. I'm gonna, if CC's pitching, into June, then you worried about the gas tank running out at that point because they say he's gonna be fine, but heart procedures are no joke. So he had that done. The knees are bad. Even though his numbers don't say it, he does have a little bit of an issue going deeper into games. If you could replace him with a guy that goes 6 or 7 guaranteed every night, you're gonna do it. And then at that point, July, August, September, CC's there and make a spot start. Maybe work out of the bullpen a little bit, but for the first 3 months of the season, he's gonna start, and he should start. So what were we saying? Somebody asked me about Clint Frazier. I think that's part of the reason why the Yankees aren't totally in on Bryce Harper. I think they expect something out of Clint Frazier this season, and I think it's the same scenario almost with Gardy as is with CC, that you're trying to get through 1 month, 2 months, 3 months with Gardy, and then hope that Frazier's probably going to start the season in AAA, work off some rust. He didn't play a lot last year because of the head issues, the concussion issues. So, and then you see, Frazier's raking it in Scranton. Yeah, dipshit. The better looking NYYST host is the one doing the live video podcast because honestly, I would, if I was your wife, I'd have my eyes checked, seriously, because, you're not much to look at. Anyway, back on track here. So the Yankees are probably going to send Clint to AAA and see how he is. And if he's raking down there, he's the guy that you bring up. He could be a midseason trade candidate. You're right, Joey, but I honestly think that's for you, Chris. I honestly think that the Yankees have hopes for Clint Frazier to be their starting left fielder at some point this year. I almost think that it would be like making a trade for an outfielder, because if he's raking down there and healthy, I mean, we've seen the pop in Red Thunder's bat. I'm ready for this kid to be a rock star. I would love for nothing more than the Clint Frazier to come up here and be a friggin' rock star for the New York Yankees, honestly. And the only drawback of Clint Frazier is that he's right-handed, and we're so right-handed heavy. If Clint Frazier was a lefty, they might not even sign Brett Gardner, to be honest with you. That's just how I feel about things. But the Yankees did make a move earlier this week, a couple of days ago. They signed Troy Tulowitzki, it's easy for me to say, to a one-year deal, $550,000, because the Blue Jays paid him whatever the hell they paid him to go away. So what does it mean? Well, it doesn't mean much to me. It means that if they don't get Manny, they have a guy that can play shortstop for a couple of months. And if they do get Manny, they have a really good bench player. And if he's hurt or he sucks now because the injuries have just zapped all the life out of him, okay, you paid $550,000 for him. It's no big deal. Now, people were freaking out the other day that, this means they're not getting Machado. I mean, really who this affects more than anybody is Neil Walker, because I think Tulo's here. He can be more of a utility guy. I'm sure the Yankees are going to bring him into camp and throw him a first baseman's glove. They might see if he can pick it a little bit at third. And, he can play short. John Gibbons said that he can still, maybe the bat might not be there what it once was, and this is his former manager, but he said that he can still play D. So, if Tulowitzki's going to have to play a couple times a week at shortstop, while Didi's out, it's not the worst thing in the world if he's good at defense and doesn't hit much, because I was advocating bringing a Danny Echeverria in, and we all know a Danny Echeverria can't hit for shit. So, I mean, if you're going to do that, Tulo, and here's the thing about Tulowitzki. He's a guy that wants to be a Yankee. He idolizes Derek Jeter. He wears number 2 for a reason. Now, obviously, he can't wear 2 here. It'd be nice if he could wear 22, but some jack-off with bronchitis that we may never, ever see again currently has 22. So we'll see what happens there, numbers-wise. He might not even make the team. You don't even know that. Like, this is another thing. People are freaking out about this. He might not even make the team. He could be so shitty in spring training that the Yankees are like, all right, bro, you got $30 million to go away. Here's another $500,000. But low risk, high reward move for the Yankees. It's just, you're taking a flyer on him. And as I said, he's always wanted to be a Yankee. So maybe putting on the pinstripes injects a little life into him. And if you can get to, like I said with CC and Gardy, if the Yankees don't get Machado, don't bring back Walker, then Tulo gets hurt and who plays shortstop, well, Chris is going to love it. Since he asked it, he's going to love this answer. Tyler Wade is playing shortstop, bro. Tyler Wade is playing shortstop for the New York Yankees. If Machado doesn't come here and Tulo gets hurt and Didi never comes back, you can do that too. Don Sicario, you can. But I honestly think that the Yanks would rather shift Wade to shortstop and leave Glaber at second. It's everything that you hear. You just get the sense that the Yankees don't want to keep shuffling Glaber Torres back and forth. But maybe then you never know. They could move. If there's somebody that's out there that they like that is a better second baseman than a shortstop, they could play him there. And then they said he's more built for. He's a natural shortstop. I think Cashman just likes the way he profiles as a second baseman better. And it's just one of those things where he might be a natural shortstop, but they wanted him to be a second baseman, which also, again, if they had no interest in Machado and what do you call it? They didn't have Didi in their plans. Why wouldn't the Yankees just say, screw it, Gleyber Torres is their shortstop? But they're not doing that. They're saying Gleyber Torres is their second baseman. And there's a reason for that, because they want somebody else to be the shortstop, either Didi Gregorius or Manny Machado. So, I don't know. Somebody asked what I think Danny Echeverria would cost his depth. I don't know. What does a guy like him make? $5 million, $3 million? It wouldn't cost much to bring Echeverria in here. He doesn't hit for much. He's a bench guy to fill out a roster. Yeah, that could be true that he doesn't have the range. I can't remember for the life of me. They just said they liked him better at second base. He might not. He looked like you said, he's a natural shortstop, so he just looked better, more fluid at shortstop last year. But the thing with Gleyber Torres that you want to see is him clean up the errors. There's a lot of sloppy errors from Gleyber last year. So that's why when people like Chris were saying, "Oh, bring in Daniel Murphy," and I was like totally against it, it's because his infield defense is terrible. If you don't have Didi Gregorius or Manny Machado on this infield, I mean, what are you really looking at over here? You're looking at Miguel Andujar, you're looking at Gleyber Torres, you were looking at Music Man. Greg Bird is going to get more than one more chance at playing first base for the Yankees because he's left-handed. Chris can attest to this if he's still here. We say it all the time. If Greg Bird was not right-handed, if Greg Bird was right-handed, the Yankees would have sent him to the friggin' moon. Like, put a rocket to his ass and ship him to the moon. But he's left-handed, so they're going to give him every single chance possible, especially that you don't know what Luke Voit is. You don't. And if it's even in spring, this is my opinion, if it's even in spring training between Voit and Bird's going to be your opening day first baseman. Why? Two reasons. One, he's better defensively, which is going to come in handy, especially if Machado's not here. And two, he's left-handed, and this team needs left-handed power, which again is why I keep bringing back up Bryce Harper, why the Yankees don't think that they, you're welcome, why the Yankees don't think that they don't need Bryce Harper. It's because, he's left-handed. This Bryce Harper, if he was a Yankee, he could he would hit 35 home runs blindfolded, okay? Blindfolded. Like the Bird Box movie, he'd hit 35 home runs blindfolded at Yankee Stadium. And you're going to tell, I love Gardy. You're going to tell me Gardy and, Jacoby Ellsbury are the reasons you can't bring in Bryce Harper? Come on. Yeah. I respect Cash. I think he's done a great job rebuilding his team. 2016 tore it down. We're in the playoffs the next year. And here we are, 2019. We're going to be one of the favorites to go to the World Series. He's done with what was available to him, he's done a pretty good job rebuilding rotation, which was, the thing that he needed to do. Now he's got to go out there and get Zach Britton, probably go get Adam Ottavino, and away we go. And you want to bring in Machado? Bring him in. Let's go. Let's do this. Trying to, let's win the World Series this year. So that's why. What was I saying about Brian Cashman? Jeez, the pitfalls of live video is I can't pause and gather my thoughts here for a second. I was saying something about Brian Cashman, but I forgot. So what else? There's a third thing I want to talk about today. We talked about David Robertson. We talked about Troy Tulowitzki. The last thing here we're going to talk about today is Manny Machado. And not so much Manny Machado to the Yankees or to this team. But can he sign somewhere, please? So sick and tired of this shit. Every single day somebody's got a source. And there's a new report of where he's going. Come on. Just wake me up when he signs somewhere. It's getting to the point where I don't even care anymore where he goes. It's just getting tired. Oh, I have a source. No, I have a source. That's great. everybody's got a source. I have a source too. I was going to show you this fork, but it's dirty and it's stuck to the napkin. Oh, here. This lemonade can is my source. Hold on a second. Ready? Wait, hold on. Minute Maid, who does not sponsor this podcast, but if they want to, I'm available. I'm available to take sponsorships. Hitting Hard, presented to you by Minute Maid. I mean, sounds pretty slick, right? So, maybe somebody can send them an email, but yep, Minute Maid says that Manny Machado. Oh, wait. No, see, it's a can. It doesn't talk. So that's what I'm saying. What are your sources? Just because you're somebody on Twitter with 6,000 followers, like, oh, I got a source now. Oh, somebody sent me a direct message. Look, I'm not trying to yeah, you're probably right, Yankees Cave. I'm not going to toot our own horn. We've been doing this. This will be going into our second full season. We started midway through 2017. We did all 2018. We're here for 2019, but we made some contacts in the business. The only thing that I've ever really spoken on with any certainty is stuff that comes out of Cleveland. And it's because if you guys follow us, I have a connection in Cleveland. But again, he's a guy that's tapped in. You're very welcome, Joey. And I'll get to Machado in 1 second, my opinion on him, if you haven't heard it yet. The guy's tapped into the Cleveland sports scene. So he does the Cleveland Indian pregame show. So if he tells me something, I'm going to be inclined to believe it. It's not like, oh, yeah, so here's my Minute Maid can, and it sounds like Manny Machado is going to the Yankees. When I swiggle around the last bit of lemonade here, it sounds like Yankees, so that's where he's going. Come on. I don't have I hear you, we all hear things. Like Chris and I, we reach out to people. But again, like we said in the last episode of the NYY Pork, it's going in the garbage next, so at least it got to be featured in my video here. We heard about Giancarlo Stanton before anybody else. Somebody came to us and said, listen, Stanton's getting traded to the Yankees, so you guys can say this or you can't say it. And we're like, yeah. But, we didn't trust it. So, I can call anybody up and say, yo, listen, bro, like this guy called up Francesite and said, oh, my boy's a sports agent, and the Yankees are going to announce Machado 8 for 240 next year. You know how easy that is to say? Hey, guys, my axe can was once looked at by a guy that played high school baseball, and he said that the Yankees are signing Manny Machado, so it's got to be true, right? No, it doesn't. Like, if there's anything that I can say to you people that are watching or are going to listen to this, is just take these sources with a grain of salt, okay? There's a reason why these people only have a Twitter account. They're not verified. They don't work for ESPN. They don't work for Fox Sports, or they don't work for Yahoo or whatever. Like, just think about it. I'm trying. Sometimes I am funny, my wife doesn't always think I am, but I think I'm a pretty hilarious guy at times. Oh, I have 200 followers, but trust me when I tell you this, right? Yeah, I'm not disparaging anybody that does a podcast or has talked to people in the industry, because, like I said, we hear things. We've made connections. We hear things. So, people like that, yeah, I can attest to it. You hear things, but, anybody that's, opens up a Twitter account, has 6 followers, and, a source told me, and they put MLB at the end of their name, Joe Jerkoff MLB, and, 6 followers, joined 3 days ago, but, I have a source, okay? I have this source, and it's telling me. So, anything you until you see somebody that is really credentialed and verified, that is noteworthy, just take it with a grain of salt. Even if I say it, even count. If I come to you and say I have a source, I heard this. Not that I would, because, like I said, I really only have very, very limited people that I would actually trust and repeat anything that they said in regards to these types of things. Take it with a grain of salt, because who are we? NYY Sports Talk is growing. I'm happy. Um, that we're doing as well as we are. We can always do better, and we're pushing, and we're going to make this 2019 a big year for us, and hopefully the Yankees help us, because when the Yankees are good, people just have more interest in the team. So, but like I said, and just take these sources with a grain of salt. Just because you see some tweet it, don't be like, "Oh, he's not coming to the Yankees. He's not coming to the Yankees," because somebody tweeted it. Come on, and this is funny because Fox Sports Radio tweeted that somebody that was on one of their shows said that Machado's leaning towards the White Sox, and then somebody called him out and said on it, and then he said, "No, that's not what I said," but there was a quote of what was actually said in the article. So you just never. And somebody asked about Dan Clark. I have no idea. I've never heard of this guy until he said what he said last week. He's staking his entire reputation on Manny Machado going to the Yankees, and he's not only quadrupled down on it. What's the word for putting it down 5, 6, 7 times? That's how many times he keeps going back to it. So, for his sake, for a guy that is verified and has 20,000 followers and is trying to make a living being a writer, for his sake, I hope that he's right. So. My thoughts on before we wrap up here, because we're over a half hour. You know what? I have to be inclined to believe him too, just because if he's not trying to be a giant troll and a big prick, his whole entire reputation and career is really, it's staked on him going to the Yankees. Because you could say something one time, but when you say it 9 and 10 times, and almost like mockingly attack people that say otherwise, this is just where it's got to be. I mean, that's for you anyway, right? Here's what I'll say about Manny Machado. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'm very indifferent towards the Yankees getting him, because I don't believe that he's a need for this team. He's a luxury for this team, okay? What does that mean? That means that we have Miguel Andujar, and I'm going to go under the premise that at some point Didi's going to be back and be Didi Gregorius again. So you just need a stopgap. You don't need Manny Machado. But Manny Machado is one of the 5 to 10 best players in Major League Baseball. So if you can get him, you should get him, right? So that's the way I feel about it. If I wake up tomorrow and he signs with the Phillies, I'm going to be a little disappointed, because, like I said, he is one of the best players in Major League Baseball, and of course you want the best on your club. But I'm not going to be like, "Oh, I'm depressed because we didn't get Manny Machado." And if they get Machado, I'm going to be excited about it. I'm not going to jump through the roof, but as I said, now the Yankees have one of the 10 best players in Major League Baseball in their club. It can only be a good thing for them, right? And that's why I don't understand people who are like, "I don't want Machado." Why? Because he doesn't hustle? Come on, give me a break. I'm sure, I find 10 guys on the Yankees right now that don't hustle, and probably hustle less than Manny Machado. The guy's he's incredible talent. So that's what I want. And anybody that says this, that, "Oh, he'll ruin the young team." Really? How? He's as old as all these guys. Does he have some type of psychic mind power that I don't know about, where he's going to turn Aaron Judge into a loafer? Like Aaron Judge is all of a sudden going to stop playing hard because Manny Machado's there? And let's not forget, this is Aaron Judge's team. Manny Machado's just coming here to be part of it. So, that type of thing I would not even worry about. That, "Oh, he's going to ruin the team." No, he's not. This is Judge's team. This is Aaron Judge's ball club. Okay? So if you are worried about Manny Machado ruining the Yankees, that means you're worried about Aaron Judge as the leader of this ball club. That's the way I say it. So here we are, 35 minutes deep. Gonna wrap this up here in a few seconds. Normally we do other stuff, but I don't know what the hell else to talk about. There's really not. I mean, we're just past New Year's now. I'm in that post-holiday. I need to get motivated, get back on track mode here. I was, I should have been back to the gym 3 days ago. I'm not. I should have cleaned my cave out a couple days ago. I haven't. The only reason why I took the Christmas lights down is because they were falling down. So it's weird. It's like you're in that zone there where it's like post holidays. You want to get motivated. You want to get back on track, and you're just like. I said this the other day on Twitter, and it got a lot of likes. I wasn't saying it to be depressing, but to me, now we're in this is like the most depressing time of the year for me. I love the holidays. I love Christmas. I love everything about it. Especially this year, I had a really good Christmas with my family. I love spending time with my wife. The holidays, the whole big deal. We weren't supposed to exchange gifts this year because we were getting a dog, but then turns out the dogs were being born a couple weeks later than we anticipated, so we ended up exchanging gifts anyway. So I'm waiting for my dog to come. What was I saying? Yeah, so I love riding up and down the streets, looking at, seeing the houses all lit up. Even though I'm 35 years old, I'll go to if anybody lives in North Jersey, about the Fairfield Ice Caverns. I still love going, with my wife. We walk through it every year. It's fun. It's fun to me. I like it. I like watching Christmas movies. I like going into stores and seeing the Christmas displays, even though the one in Target, I saw it 500 times. Even on the 501st time I'm in Target, I still walk through it. I enjoy it. I like it. That's just me. And it's not for everybody, but it's for me. And now you're past New Year's, and now you're driving around, and there's Christmas trees on the curb, and, it's dark at 4 o'clock, and there's no Christmas lights to light up the streets. It's depressing, especially when you're a football fan in this area, and the Giants suck, and the Jets are bad too, and there's no playoff football. It's like, what do you got to look forward to? So you're just trying, you're trying to get yourself through these next 6 weeks until you can see sunshine, Florida sunshine, and see New York Yankees. And it's right. That's a great word. That's a great word, Don Sicario. It's like you're hungover right now, and you're just trying to get through it. Just get through it, and that's what it is. Now I feel like I'm coming down with a bit of a cold too, which is great because, I'm saying to myself, let's get back to the gym on Monday. Let's put all the bullshit aside. Let's get back in the gym on Monday. And now, with my luck, I'm going to be sick. And I'm not one of these people that go to the gym with a head cold. Why? Because A, it's disgusting, okay? If you go to the gym with a head cold and, leaving something sweaty is one thing, but leaving your snot on it and sneezing and coughing all over the friggin' place, just stay home, okay? I mean, how much weight are you gonna gain? Are you gonna go down to a 5-pack of abs? Excuse me, if you stay home for 4 days while you clear your head cold out, stay home, okay? And was that the only reason why? I think it might have. For me. The other reason why is because when I get a really bad cold, it's in my eye. So I'm not trying to be lifting weights, running with one eye. I mean, like this with total tears. It's not fun. I just want to lay on the couch and watch TV. I don't want to be working out when that hits. So I'm loading up on the zinc, loading up on the vitamin C, trying to not get this cold here so I can be back and ready in the gym on Monday, because I think maybe when we do that, you start breaking out of this little post-holiday funk here, and keep your time occupied until the Yankees hit spring training. So nice full episode here. Want to thank everybody for popping in, so thank you very much. If you want to pop on iTunes, which this show is now available on iTunes, you can either search NYY Sports Talk or Hitting Hard. Just, leave a rating and a review. Preferably be 5 stars. I'll go for 4 stars, but anything less than that is not cool. But so definitely, if you remember to check that out. Peace out, Don Sicario. NYY Sports Talk. The crew will be back Monday morning with episode 94. We'll expound upon, you're very welcome, Music Man. We'll expound upon what I already talked about here, the Tulo signing, David Robertson, and, maybe appreciate me, Joey. Maybe when we sit down and record this weekend, we'll have some major news to talk about. But, it's just at this point in time, you just tired of hearing it. It's just like, okay, sign already or don't. I don't care anymore. Honestly, if Manny Machado didn't play baseball in 2019, I wouldn't care. I just want him to come out and say, listen, guys, I'm not playing baseball this year. And be like, okay, now we can move on. And moving on, and now you can get on with the rest of your evening here. Thank you very much for listening, or now join me live here, watching episode 4 of Hitting Hard. And again, I got to think of a good catchphrase to sign it out. But until then, see you in the next episode.